Welcome into College Football 25, the start of our dynasty. As you join us, we'll have the Cardinal and White spring game, get to learn our roster, and see how this pans out as we start in the ACC. And we're underway here in front of the home crowd for the very first time. Getting a decent return, the White team will head on out. And it will be Ashton Daniels, the junior quarterback, leading out the group, and we should see a decent rotation today. Starting with a handoff down the middle, goes as a gain of 6 for Cedric Irvin. Now, one thing to note here is that the crowd showed up in full force. That is what we love to see. As they hand it off, jet sweep goes to the top player of the offense in Ayomanor. Leaving them with a 3rd and 2, handoff down the gut, and picking up the first down goes Irvin. As we were saying, the crowd showing up is big. This has been a team that has struggled with attendance over the last 5 years. Hopefully, with the new coach being brought in, it's a new turning point. Taylor, who coached the team the last 2 years, replaced with Barry Bearington. It's going to be his first year here, brought in to really strictly start the recruiting process. As Irvin gets upended, we'll end up leaving the White team with a 3rd and 2. They go spread. Handed off down the middle. Irvin with a small lane, but he makes the most out of it. One thing to note here, the defense is the second team defense. It's the first team offense on White as Irvin busts through the gut, and there is the first touchdown of the spring game. Handoff down the middle, exactly what Stanford has been built upon. But as the Cardinal team heads on out, it is the freshman quarterback helping lead the way for this group. We'll see how much he ends up actually getting, maybe some playing time this year. He's got a pretty strong arm, some mobility. Not able to show it off there as the read option goes for a loss. On 2nd down, he fires it in and finds his target. That's number 82 in Rain. See how well he can do. We got Barrow in at running back. Look for the halfback screen here on 3rd and 6, but not able to get it out cleanly. First team defense gets the stop. That was not a fantastic punt. Starting in good field position here again, the first team offense heading on out. As they've got their number 1 guy in motion, then instead they give it to Irvin. Had the touchdown rush prior, gets taken out at the legs there. Gain of 2. As it's going to be 2 spread either side here for Ashton Daniels. Looking to air out the ball down the field and getting the catch. Farrell. Wasn't much room to spare there. Safety nearly able to come over and knock it away. Going back to the running game, Irvin will pick up about a yard or 2. Now, Irvin is just a sophomore, so he'll be around for a good bit. There's a lot of young talent on this team. We'll see that throughout. They've had some great recruiting classes of late. Need to continue that here as they do get a nice first down with, again, Irvin. Play action to him now, setting up the pass and swatted away. 35, the linebacker. That's a junior in Matt Rose. With a 2nd and 10, just outside the 25. Irvin cuts down the middle, shakes one, and will pick up the first down at the 15. They've gone his way early and often, already at about 100 yards rushing. As they will go back to him here, and that will be 100 rushing in just the first quarter. Many big-time running backs coming from Stanford. Obviously, Bryce Love, Christian McCaffrey, and Toby Gerhart. As Ayomanor takes the jet sweep to the end zone. Had his breakout game last year against Colorado. Set up for another great season. Now as the Cardinal offense retakes the field here, down 14-0. Their first time out, they weren't able to move the ball much. Down the middle goes Barrow, who will barrel forward, picking up 4. Now one thing to note, offensive line playing the same for both teams, whether it's the White or the Cardinal, so pretty even matchup there. As Brown looks to roll, trying to find a receiver to break open, no one will. He will tuck run, ball pops out, but after he gets out. Barry Bearington definitely has a decision to make this year on whether he redshirts Brown or keeps him out there as a possible option, but Barrow, he breaks to the sideline. Big gain down to the 35. I imagine we'll see a pretty heavy rotation of running backs this year. Parrish checks in following the big rush. This is going to be in motion. Comes Rubin. They're going to fake the jet sweep to him, looking for a pass downfield, lofting it out for the tight end, and it is dropped. Nearly had it. Pretty tight coverage, but almost found the play was the freshman quarterback. Going back to the running game here on the counter, and a great stop, 21. That is strong safety, Scotty Edwards. Love seeing that play from the DBs, as it's another play action rolling. He had an option to take earlier and said he looks to run, and he will get stopped short of the line to gain. But one thing you're going to notice here from Barry Bearington is he is an aggressive coach. On 4th and 3rd, expect him to go for it. As they look for the slants, letting it develop here. Throwing and swatted away. Turnover on downs for the Cardinals team. But with a 14-point lead, White offense back out onto the field as they start right where they left off. Ground and pound as it is pounded for a gain of 4. That time, Ryan Butler checks in and picks up the gain. Another junior running back for us as they come out with a offense. 2 to the left, 1 to the right, though again. In motion, faking the jet sweep. Butler back down the middle. We're going to meet him with Conahy. Will we see the Cardinals defense get a stop here? 3rd and 5. They bring the blitz. Around the edge, we get pressure, but they find their tight end who picks up the first. So far, Ashton Daniels showing why he is the team's starting quarterback, and there's not really any controversy, though good stop down the middle from Richardson. He's the freshman linebacker out of Michigan making the play. Butler back down the middle, picking up another solid gain. What we seem to be seeing is that the defensive line needs a little bit of some work done. They're giving up a lot as the corner gets lost. There goes Tiger Bachmeier into the end zone. A 21-point lead for the first team offense. And it's bad news for that Cardinal offense as they head out, as it was a muffed return. They're starting deep in their own territory, and they're not getting any further away. Loss of 2 on the read option. Backed up at their own 1. Can they find a little bit of space here? Well, they set up a halfback screen. They get Reigns a little bit of some space. He'll pick up 3. With a 3rd and 9. Can Brown surprise us here? Off coverage across the board. Just need to find a small little gap, which they will fire it in, and dropped. 81. That is sophomore receiver Borden. It's going to go right back to the number 1 offense here. Back in the game, Irvin, though not getting back to the line. Loss of 3 for number 3 coming off that corner spot. Still waiting for someone on the defensive side here for the second team to make some plays. As it's back to Irvin, trying to get to the edge, and he will hit the edge. Spinning back in, what a rush! Goes Irvin, second touchdown of the game. Broke out the big spin move, sent the defense flying, and was off to the races. As we get to our next drive here with the Cardinals offense, it is Jackson in at quarterback. He's a sophomore for us. We'll see if Brown sees any more playing time in this one, but as mentioned, going to see a variety of players. We'll see what Jackson can do. As he lets things develop, looks for the pass and swatted away. That sends us to the end of our first quarter here. It's been all white team, as mostly led by Irvin. Also seen a good bit from Ashton Daniels. As we start the second quarter, it's a 3rd and 9 for the Cardinals offense. Once again, trying to set up a slant play, looking for Rubin, but it's dropped. Definitely seeing a large disparity right now between the top players on this team, as that's a fantastic play action. The defensive line and linebackers had no idea. Big strike down the field as Ashton Daniels finds Alik Ayomanor into plus territory. They're at the 44. As they bring him in motion. He's gone in a lot of motion today. Handoff to Irvin, a great stop from number 30, S.A. Dubry. If I'm incorrect on that pronunciation, do definitely let me know. 2nd and 9 As they look back down, Irvin Patterson there gets the stop. We've got to fix some numbers on this team, that is for sure. See a lot of defensive linemen wearing low numbers. That will change. Only defensive lineman going to wear a low number is a big boy rocking 0 here, as it's fantastic blocking all the time here for Ashton Daniels. He even shakes a potential sack, sprints forward, picking up the first down. Gotta have much better rush than that this year, as it will be said first down at the 31. 2 to the left side, 1 to the right. Leak in motion as he takes a jet sweep. Gonna pick up a first down and maybe a little bit more, gain of 15 before finally being brought down at the 15. White offense really able to just do as they please in this one. They're gonna go right back to the play. Hey, if it works, why not stick with it? Gets a gain of 6. Now with a bunch to the left-hand side here for 2nd and 4. Ashton Daniels throwing to the flat, finding their tight end, though not gonna gain much of anything. And with a 3rd and 3 left, can the Cardinal defense pick up a stop while they bring a heavy blitz back to their tight end, who goes airborne and denied at the goal line? Roush nearly found it. Instead, he might find himself heading to the training room after this game. With a goal line set, leak in motion. They go back to the jet sweep, trucking through, and he gets trucked as well. But he does break the end zone. It's another touchdown, 5th on the day for the starting offense. All right, now it's been all one-sided here. Can we see a little something from the backups? Who's going to stake a claim on this team, as it's a rollout, looking for a pass downfield, and it's another one dropped. I think it's pretty clear what we have to look for when it comes to our first recruiting class. Need some help at receiver. Too many drops, blitz off the edge, first sack of the game. Credit that one to outside linebacker number 11, Tafiti. 3rd and 15, hard count from Jackson. No one moves as he lets things develop. No one really getting open. He's running around, scrambling, and sacked back at the 2. That's not going to get you any starting time. And with him way backed up, going to be a good starting spot here for the White offense as they find Farrell on the short in route. Ends up picking up about triple the route length. Down to the 15 yet again here. White has been blessed with a lot of short fields as Irvin, he's looking for a 3rd touchdown, shakes and finds it. We might have ourselves the next great Stanford Cardinal running back here, as he's put on a show during spring game. Now, news from the field, just going to halftime here today. It's only going to be a 2-quarter game, as everyone has seen good amount of playing time. Look for a pass downfield, and we finally find a big play for the offense. It's 81 Borden. Gives the Stanford tree something to celebrate here for half of his squad. Now it is a shaken up look here for the receiving group. Clearly, coach not liking what he's seen from the at least starters for this side, as it's a roll finding Mosley. Looks like Jackson has his Cardinal offense moving, sticking with the spread look. Gonna be a handoff here down the middle and a short gain of 1. Brendan Barrow has not found as much success as Irvin, despite running behind the same offensive line. It's a different defense that they're facing. Look for a back shoulder fade, comes up short. He's gonna get picked off, looking for a return. Shakes one, brought down at the 23. Pick brought to you by Zoran Manley. Gonna be one of our top corners this year. We'll probably see him corner 2 on the outside, as Irvin looking for a little bit more here to try to cap off the game. That rush, while short, pushes him over 150 on the day. Of course, multiple touchdowns. He's put on a great performance. Definitely the highlight, as there is a decent pass finding Tiger Bachmeier. Only his 2nd catch of the day, but he did have a touchdown for him earlier. Tight set here, single back, as they will go with a stretch to the outside. Irvin had to hurdle the down defender and get stopped at the line. Maybe we'll see a little bit more here from the defense to finish out. It's a bunch to the right-hand side. A little bit of a blitz brought, but a well-timed throw finds Bachmeier down around the 25. And that's the same amount of yards on one play that the leading receiver of the Cardinal offense has. Just shows how big the difference is here. We get a blitz off the edge. Ashton Daniels gets it out, but it's going to be picked off by Chapman in the end zone. He's trying to return this. He shakes Y1, not going to get by the next. That will set up his offense coming out here in a much different look than we've seen today. They're going to hand it off down the middle. Barrow still struggling to pick up yards, does end up pushing forward for a gain of 4. See if they end up looking his way a little bit more often here, as it's going to be a roll the opposite way, trying to go back to him. Well designed, but just a great play there made from the defense. They've been locked down all game long. Another third down here for Jackson. He throws, he finds his tight end, Unger, who's trying to get by a couple defenders, will pick up the first down. One of the few today for the Cardinal offense. As they go back to Barrow, he looks to bounce it and stopped about at the line. Well, that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning here. Again, just going to halftime. Hard count from Jackson, no one jumps. See if we can find a pass downfield here, or instead it's going to be a sack, split it between 40 and 45. We'll push back the Cardinal offense, leaving them with a 3rd and 14. Jackson just trying to find a little bit of some space. Pass rush, he gets it out. He finds his receiver in range, who breaks the tackle, bursting downfield, getting to midfield before finally getting pushed out. That'll definitely make up for the drop pass earlier. Big play late on in this one. As Jackson looks to continue the success of the offense, he loads up deep downfield for Reigns on the run and out at the 13. Finally see a little bit of that deep ball here from Jackson. As it's 1st and 10, taken with the spread look. And keeping it, he looks to run down the middle. He picks up just a yard. Credit Miles there, and trying to shake up the look, though, from the offense. As they'll look for Barrow here, halfback screen. Get a blocker out in front, just enough so Barrow will get the first down, but there is a flag down, and it's looking like this one is coming back. That one called on the starting left guard. So, 2nd and 19 then. Look to see if maybe we could get 83 Harris to the back corner of the end zone. He's got space. It's a well-thrown ball, and the Cardinal offense finally bites into this deficit. They get on the board, and we saw the younger receivers making bigger plays than those above them. But will we see anything more here from the White offense? As they start with a check down pass, finds their tight end in Roush. And it looks like coach is changing things up here. He's sending out the #1 defense to try to limit what this offense can do. And well, it immediately does. They get the pick. Flag down on the field though. And give the ball back. It is pass interference. So with one final play here in this game. Hail Mary set. What can Daniels get us? Got some decent strength here. Pass rush really trying to get back there. You have enough time to launch it towards the end zone. Anyone gonna make a play? It gets picked off. 31. Sophomore corner Aaron Morris. That will bring our spring game here to an end. We saw a lot from the starting offense. A couple of the young guys on the Cardinals side made some plays, though obviously player of the game going to Cedric Irving. Had a fantastic game. 25 carries, 3 touchdowns, nearly 200 yards. He's definitely going to be the focal point of the offense heading in to the season. And I hope you guys enjoyed that spring game. A chance to get to know a little bit of the team, some of the key players we have moving in. We'll finish off taking a brief look here at the roster and things that we're going to be looking for come our first season. Now, quarterback, we didn't see a great game from Elijah Brown. The backup struggled. The receivers more so, I feel like, really struggled. Ashton Daniels will be our starting quarterback heading into the year. He's got 2 seasons left, and Miles Jackson looked solid. Hopefully we see Elijah Brown take that next step. And we also have Lamson, who was really just a gadget player in real life for the last season. Cedric Irvin, he looked fantastic. He's only a 79 overall, but we'll see how he does when we get into those games against better competition than who we played against in this one. We didn't see much from Barrow. He's a senior. We could definitely look to try to find a few more running backs. We do have some young guys down the lines here. We do not have a fullback, which is interesting. We do have some tight ends, so we'll just have a tight end play fullback. But the main guy here for the offense in terms of receiving target is gonna be Alik Ayomanor. Really had a fantastic breakout season last year, and he's gonna be our main guy because our best other option, he transferred to Georgia, and Benjamin Yurosek. So we're gonna see a little bit more here of Sam Roush and Tiger Bachmeier. He's really the down the field kind of target here for us. See how well he does. Mudio Rubin, he was a bit of a disappointment in this one. He was dropping a lot of passes. He's mostly gonna be a slot receiver for us, a little bit of a gadget type guy as well. Tight end university, you know, we're one of the 2-3 teams who can claim that, so we'll definitely see a good bit here from our tight ends. We need to start recruiting tight ends as well. Roush will have for 2 years if he stays around for that. But then we have Taylor and Unger, both seniors going to be going, though we're trying to keep Unger around just to try to help us out with that gap. And then we've got a lot of young guys underneath them. Offensive line is not awful in terms of overall, but definitely nowhere close to that intellectual brutality that Stanford was formerly known as. We have a young option here, sophomore. He'll definitely be next in line, and honestly, if our starter struggles, well, then he might see playing time this year. Left guard pretty good at Mayberry was also starting, as well as Jake here. Gonna have to definitely check some pronunciations as we move forward. Center, our best of our offensive line. Right guard, young guy here in Pale. Hopefully he develops well. And then at right tackle, we have a senior and a sophomore. So we'll always be recruiting for the offensive line. Defensive line does need to see some help. And we've got to decide what direction we want to build this group. 3-4 multiple defense or going to a 4-3, which is pretty much what you play with a nickel. Feel like that might be where we start to lean. We do have a really young, promising player here in Tafiti. He is redshirted. I think we might be taking that off of him before we head into this year. We don't really have another guy who could step in and really start at that spot. Maybe Rose could, but I think we let the big guy run. As for linebacker, looking pretty good at this spot, though it's definitely going to be a group we have to recruit 2 seniors of the starting 3. Cornerback wise, we're really good with Colin Wright. We'll see if he comes back for his senior year. Then we have Manley. Again, we're not going to be redshirting him. We've got a lot of young guys underneath those 2, and they need to see some playing time to develop. At safety, we got 2 seniors at the top and then some really young undeveloped guys. Strong safety, we got a junior and then 2 sophomores. So definitely some work to do with this roster. Hope you guys are as excited as I am. As for next episode, we will be getting into our first game. It is a home game as TCU comes to town. Then we have a little bit of an easier game thereafter. And then we're going straight through, sticking with the ACC this year. Though if you guys were around for my conference realignment video, we're going to be massively overhauling every single conference following the first year. A bunch of teams moved. We'll go through a year of that just to see what happens. And then there's going to be some big moves happening. So to make sure you don't miss our first official episode, I will say as we get into the actual bit here of Dynasty, we'll do a little bit of recruiting, get into that first game, and get this thing rolling. College football is back after 10 plus years. It's been a long time coming, and we've got a whole lot coming your way.